Welcome back to my video series on 8-rack. This time we're fighting Dredge. This will be a black-white 8-rack deck, and the reason I wanted to showcase this particular matchup was to show the power of Rest in Peace versus Dredge. This is after the banning of Golgari Troll. Fine hand to keep for an unknown matchup. We can pox ourselves down with 4 lands without too much of a problem. Having a clock in the opening hand is nice, push is nice, Mutavault makes it better. All my colors are there. I don't even have to put myself with Marsh Flats. Opponent goes Stomping Ground into Faithless Looting, discard Bloodghast Prize Amalgam, and I know from experience with the Dredge matchup that I have 0% chance of winning game 1. It's not a 60% chance of losing, it's not a 90% chance, it's a 100% chance of losing. So the best thing to do is, in my opinion anyway, is to deny my opponent information, deny them the knowledge of whether or not to bring in Abrupt Decay versus some other enchantment removal versus artifact removal, or how much, or what to sideboard at all. I like to just keep that away from them. I didn't even let them know I was on black, so they don't know if it's the Leyline of the Void or Rest in Peace or what. Going on to game 2, I know what I'm doing, he doesn't. As far as keeping this hand, this is a great hand to keep under normal circumstances. I have enough lands to cast Lily, I have a backup Lily. If I lose it, I have an Inquisition to protect my Lily, I have a clock. Against Dredge though, I should not be keeping this. Kind of need the hate, and here we are. Hate, Perpetual, Clock. This looks perfect. Couldn't be happier. I would like an Inquisition or a Thoughtseize to try to protect my Rest in Peace, but we'll see what happens. Rack go. Stomping Grounds, Insolent. Pitches, actually didn't see what he pitched. He pitched a Dredger though and pulled it back. It was black. I caught a glimpse of it. Conflagrate in the yard. That can be a problem sometimes. Not always though. The thing about Conflagrate is he has to dump his hand to get it off versus putting himself in rack range. It's a great kill at the end of things, and not so good early in the game. I kind of want to play my Rest in Peace here and keep him off that Conflagrate, but I kind of also want to make sure he doesn't have an enchant removal in his hand. So I wait just a little bit. Life from the Loam, I kind of have to get that thing gone. As I talked about in previous videos with Dredge, that Life from the Loam is so dangerous, so I do take the risk here, I believe, and nope, just going to go with a Lily at first. Fine. I know I don't end up waiting forever on that Rest in Peace. I don't really like him casting Life from the Loam and dredging and what have you, so here I just decide to go for it. Nope, one more turn, I'm a liar. Conflagrate Lily, fine. Yeah, I can't wait any longer. I really wanted to wait, but with only 1 card in hand, what are the chances that it's an enchantment removal, right? And he didn't actually get, so he did have some bad dredges there. I guess that's the idea behind the banning of Golgari Troll though, is that they don't just get to go off. It took him several turns, and he did have a bit of bad luck. He's about a third of his way through his deck, and he hasn't seen any Narcomoebas, any Bloodghasts, or any Prize Amalgam. Having a second rack is nice, but what I really need is a Perpetual discard. And here's another reason Necrogen Mists gets in the deck. The synergy between Necrogen Mists and Rest in Peace versus Raven's Crime and Rest in Peace is so much better. This Necrogen Mist just won me the game. He's now in a position where he either has to play cards or wait indefinitely. And he's not going to be patient enough to remove all of the things. He's just stuck in this loop of drawing a card each time and discarding a card each time. He's not taking any damage, but he's also not getting further ahead on board. And eventually I do draw into discard. I think I probably took a Golgari. No, I took a Bloodghast there. And now we're getting into rack damage. So my opponent is forced to make a move. But it's too little too late. Every discard just starts hurting him. Yeah, that one card, like he had nothing to do, right? He made the move to get a 1/1 garbage, which I could kill anyway, and now he's going to take 12 damage. He's got lethal on board, or he just sits there doing nothing until he decks himself. It's completely locked out prison, and I love it. I love it, because Dredge used to beat the crap out of me all the time. Ever since the printing of Prize Amalgam, I haven't been having a good matchup against Dredge at all. I haven't been having a good time against Dredge. It's the main reason I started splashing colors. Beautiful opening hand. Hate right away. Stalling right away. And we'll see how Raven's Crime and Rest in Peace don't really complement each other very well, but it's also somewhat irrelevant, because Rest in Peace is just that much more powerful. Go. Life total doesn't really matter in this matchup. And I see no enchantment removal in the main hand. So we could probably take that Cathartic Reunion. Not that it makes much of a difference. I just didn't want him getting Cathartic Reunion into Narcomoeba into a couple amalgams on the battlefield, then I rest in peace, then I'm fighting through amalgams. That would be less fun than what I'm about to do, which is slam my rest in peace and win the frickin' game. Opponent's now stuck top decking for enchantment removal with a stupid little 1/1 on the field. So Golgari Thug, yeah, okay, it's a little annoying that he can replay his 1/1 every turn. Ancient Grudge gotta come out for the rack. And yeah, Raven's Crime for a Faithless Looting, fine, no big deal. And this is him playing 1/1s and 1/2s that don't synergize, that don't combo into each other, that don't pump each other, that don't regenerate each other. There's no Lord for your pile of common garbage. It's just you playing really a very poor draft deck against my tier 2 modern masterpiece here. By the way, I'm holding 3 racks. Take 9. That's wonderful to me. That's absolutely wonderful. That's completely worth wasting my Raven's Crime and having a worthless, really what is normally an integral piece of the deck, and just turning it into nothingness in order to turn his deck completely off. I draw 1 discard spell and it's over. Or I could just wipe your board and laugh about that too. And he scoops to the rage. Beautiful. That is just perfect. Rest in peace, my hero, my salvation against Dredge. So much better than Anger of the Gods, as you can see from these 2 videos. Everything went perfectly in that last video with the black, red, and the Anger. He dumped his entire hand. I had all my pieces in place. I completely obliterated the vast majority of his creatures before he even got through half of his deck, and I still lost that match. You look at the difference between Rest in Peace. I scooped game 1 without even putting up a fight. And I come back and Rest in Peace just wins the game. I don't know how much enchantment removal this guy's running, but he's forced to top deck into it. slowly and one at a time. And that's perfect.